Oh my God, do I need to get away?
Rainbows to Riches.
Welcome to Rainbows to Riches, guys, a podcast tailored but not limited to the LGBTQ plus community. I'm Raylee, and until recently, I had no financial guidance until I met Drew and Michael, and they not only became my financial mentors, but close friends.
I'm Drew. I've run several different businesses in 3 different countries. I've also bought, sold, and rented out quite a bit of commercial and residential real estate.
My name is Michael. I'm Drew's husband. We've been together about 25 years. And when I met him, I was bankrupt. With his guidance and help, I was able to put some money together to buy my first house that we live in and also open a business. Now I'm looking at possible future retirement.
Period. And today's episode is about travel. And a lot of people might be asking us, what does travel have to do with personal finance? It has everything to do
It costs
with
money. That's what it has
Anything
to
that
do
costs
with personal
money.
finance.
period. Michael, this is your favorite topic.
Yes,
I know
it
this
is.
your thing. So why don't you tell us about travel and how you guys organize your travels and
Well,
everything?
when Drew and I met, one of the first things I said to him is, although financially I was in bad shape, as soon as I get through my bankruptcy, I went on a vacation. And then I met him, and he thought I was crazy. I said, part of my life has to include travel and vacation. It's just the way my mind is wired. Everyone has their own value system. So when I budget, I always have a travel and vacation budget. And the way I usually plan it is I pick a place, I pick a date, and then I make a financial goal. So I'll put a certain amount of money towards it every week so that by the time I leave on that trip, I have to have all the money set aside. I don't pay for a vacation after I get back. I pay for
Oh,
it before I
it's
leave
already paid for.
because otherwise it's stressful. Otherwise, when I come back, I am like worried about the vacation. Whereas when it's all taken care of, then I can relax.
Period. There's a lot to learn here, guys.
And
If you like
and that
traveling,
helps you decide where the money is going to come from.
Right.
From you. Because for most people, vacations are wants. They'd really like to. It's fun. Want to take a vacation. For some people, and Michael is one of them, it really is a need.
Yeah.
And it has to be included in that 50% of needs and accounted for
Oh, yes.
and paid for one way or the other, preferably in advance, never taking a loan out for it ever and paying interest on it. And that's super important to decide where the money is going to come from.
When I know I'm going on vacation in the future, I can cut back on going out. I don't have to buy clothes. I can take the money that was allotted towards those areas and put it towards the vacation.
it's like your luxury spend.
It,
you
it,
know,
it is, but even without it being luxurious, I
need to
need
do
to
it.
break my routine because I live a very intense life. And when I am home, even if I'm not working, I tend to, I'm going to have a cat climb on me.
She wants to travel.
I know she wants to travel. Even when I'm home, I don't disconnect. I have to be outside my normal environment to focus on something else because I have a tendency to be a little OCD. And it's like, oh, I've got to do this. I've got to do this. I don't let go of things easily.
I think that's beautiful because I think I'm not there yet. I don't think I love to travel, but it's not like at that point. I think I'm in between you two guys. Like you're like, I don't care about it. Michael was like, I need it. It's in my needs.
Absolutely.
But when did you realize that this was your thing, that it was like part of your identity?
As we were preparing for this episode, I was thinking about this. When I was a kid, my mother, who did a lot of really good things, I tend to talk about the negative stuff, but my mother did a lot of good things, exposed me to a lot of things. Going away was part of our routine. And it wasn't going fancy places. My mother loved to go to like recreated villages and things like that and seeing old homes. So going away just seemed routine. I think a lot of people would go to the same place every year. We never did that. We always go different places. So I grew up with the idea of seeing new things. And when I first moved out on my own, my very first job working as a waiter is at a hotel. there was a place that I could go for like $20 that was owned by the hotel. And I went away for a weekend. I was 18. I went away for the weekend to a hotel in Danbury, Connecticut. And I felt like I was so sophisticated because the hotel had an indoor pool. But that kind of set the tone for me. I'm going away for the weekend. It's just what I do. Some people go out dancing at night. It was never my thing to be like a party person, but going away, that is who I am. And whenever I met people, I would ask them about their travel adventures. And very often I would go with people sometimes.
You wanted a reality and you made it happen. You created it little by little, even if it was
Absolutely.
just for the experience of
Right.
going upstate.
I'm a
driving,
born traveler.
Period. You were manifesting. That's what we call it.
Yes.
That's what my generation calls it.
Absolutely.
Very popular, very trendy nowadays. How about you, Mr. Drew? Before Michael, because I know that he was the one who put you into
He
travel.
did. I used to travel a ton, mostly for business. And wherever I was, I might spend a weekend looking around or relaxing, whatever. But there was a lot of travel. I never felt I needed it. I did it and I liked it. And when I met Michael, he said, no, we have to travel. That's important. And we did. And we started to travel. And I have enjoyed every single vacation we've ever taken, some more, some less. But I don't need it. To me, it's a want.
And Michael said, if you want me, if you want this body, you gotta travel. You gotta travel.
Follow me.
Follow me if you want.
Well, I mean, the first thing that we experienced was when we were together for a little while, he had a birthday coming up. I decided I wanted to go on a cruise to Alaska. And I knew he was not going to be okay with it, and it was going to cost money.
Not even a little bit over the top. Very simple.
Well,
Cruise
I mean,
to Alaska.
simple
there's a backstory as to why, but it's not important. So I had to talk to his ex-wife, who was his business partner, to get her permission to get away from work. Then I had to get all the money together, and when I told him that his birthday present was going on a cruise, our birthdays are together. It's one day apart. So I said, and your birthday present to me is that you're going to go. And he thought, oh my God, why? Why do I want to go on a cruise? Why do I want to go to Alaska? Why? And when we got back, he was like, best thing he ever did. I sold it to him.
He got the gift. You know, the gift was for him.
Absolutely. It was a lovely, lovely gift, a lovely thought, and a really, really great vacation.
Isn't this such a...
And the other thing I have to say is, from my history, knowing that I was at a place in my life that I could take someone on vacation, I was always the one that were being offered these things, and I always felt, but to be the person who was in a position to say, I'm going to take you on vacation with me,
I
mind-boggling.
didn't mind it one.
And you paid for it?
I paid for the whole thing.
Yeah, he paid
and
for it.
I mean,
He paid for it.
it was like I have reached a new level of adulthood that I can take someone on vacation.
Trophy wife who? Period.
That was me,
I
thank
paid.
He became the trophy
he
husband.
Paid
He's
for
always
it.
been the trophy husband. Trust
Isn't
me.
this such a beautiful love story, guys? You know, you presenting another lifestyle to Drew. These beautiful love narratives also exist in the LGBTQ plus world.
Absolutely. And now we have to
And-
get back to our
financial part of
topic.
it rather than just
Oh,
fantasy.
yeah.
And the purpose of this...
Let's go to the boring part.
The purpose of
Ka-ching.
this episode is...
Repeat that.
The purpose of this episode is for people who really would like to take a vacation or do something different, don't really have a lot of money. What are the ways that they can do that and still maintain some kind of a budget and be able to afford it?
Hotel in Denver, Connecticut for the weekend.
There's one.
Drive.
There's a start. And I do want to say before we begin this, as I was reading through the different options, it could come across possibly as our being condescending because some of the things are very obvious.
Disclaimer.
Right.
And I don't want anybody to think that that's who we are and that's what we're thinking. But years ago, I ran a seminar business with the Wharton School at the University of Pennsylvania, and we charged a ton of money. It was like $1,000 a day for the course in the 1970s. That was a lot of money. And the hook we hung out to these people, that's not English, the way we got them to appreciate what it is we were offering is to say, if in the 3 days of this course and you're spending $3,000, you get one good idea, that's worth the price of the seminar, even if all the rest of the things are things you knew or things you really can't use. And that's what we say to you. If you get one good thought out of this, one idea, one money-saving option that you hadn't thought of, then it's worth your having listened to us.
Yeah, I think a lot of what we talk about this is for most people, like, yeah, I know that already. That's the intention. There are some people who don't know that. But every once in a while, you're going to pick up on something. I mean, even in doing these research for these episodes, even I go, oh, I never realized that. So you don't have to sit here and like, oh my God, I learned everything. But if we can present it in a way that you go, oh, I never thought of that. Or we can guide people to make Google searches or whatever to find out, oh, how does that work?
Period. Exactly. There's always something to be learned.
So now let's talk about finances.
I think it's your turn about choosing where to go.
And that's what I was going to ask. Like,
Okay.
when you guys are brainstorming, like, when Michael says, I need to travel, and you're compartmentalizing your ideas, where do you start? Like, your decisions. Where am I going? What do I want to see? How do you start brainstorming that?
Well, now that he's retired, he's like got
Say
wanderlust.
that.
You should
A
be proud of
retired
it.
man.
You should be proud of it. He is very open to doing new things, much more so than he used to when he was working, because he was always.
I mean, Drew, who else?
The guy back
I don't know. He said very open about doing new things.
Drew?
And I was like,
No. So what I have done in my head now is I've listed all the things. You know what I never saw? So we have had like our Sunday trip. So there's a couple of sculpture gardens near us that we'll go for the day. It's like a vacation. It's totally outside our normal life. One weekend we drove out to Pittsburgh because there's a Frank Lloyd Wright, who's an architect, house that was built. And I learned about it 30 years ago when I was in school. And I always wanted to go, but it was too far. But it's 2 days. We drove out, spent 2 nights there, came back. So some of our trips are really, really budget conscious. It's like we know the drive is not going to cost us a lot of money. If we can get a cheap hotel room for one night, it doesn't have to be anything. We don't have to eat in a fancy restaurant. So, a couple $100 for the two of us for the weekend, that's fine. But then there are the vacations. But one of the things that you can do very often is if you have like a luxury hotel spa near you, you can go there for the weekend. If you're living with friends and you don't have any privacy, you can go to a place like that. It's not a terribly expensive opportunity. Also, a lot of places will do packages. You buy the airfare for a discount, but then you can also get the hotel room.
or a car, rent a car altogether.
Sometimes. And some cities you don't need a car. They're well organized with transportation.
But I just wanted to mention, talking about getting a package, a friend of mine, somebody from the gym, went to New Orleans last Mardi Gras. During Mardi Gras, paid for a hotel and airfare round trip $375.
And we looked it up to make sure.
And I said to him, that can't be.
Can't be right. We looked it up.
And he looked it up, and there it wasn't a 4-star hotel. It was kind of a motel, but there was nothing wrong with it. And it was only for 3 days, and he wasn't going to be staying in the hotel. He was going to be out partying. $375 airfare and a hotel for 3 nights was just during Carnival, Mardi Gras.
Do you know the website they used?
Probably Expedia, and I think he just told me. I asked him about it. I think it was Expedia.
Do you guys use these third-party websites?
Sometimes.
We look. I always investigate. My first place to go when I'm looking to travel is I look at a site called TripAdvisor. But TripAdvisor doesn't deal with airfare. So when I go to TripAdvisor, I'll get some ideas about where to go, what the prices of the hotels are in that town, whether there's certain sightseeing things, whether you need a car. That's where we start. Like we're talking about possibly going to Europe next year. Not sure. But so I start doing my research now. And that's half the fun of it for me. I watch YouTube videos about the places we want to go. I'll do some research. I call friends who have been there, ask them if they have any ideas. And then we start looking at the specifics. What is the airfare going to cost? Is it more expensive at certain times of the year? Do we need to have connections? Are we going to go straight through? So we kind of build it from that. And I present these things in packages to him, like, well, here's an idea. We could do it this way. And he's like, nah, I'm not going to do that. If we go over to Ireland, which is we're talking about, they drive on the left-hand side of the road. And he said, there is no way we are driving on the left side of the road. We are not going to use our own car. So we either have to go with a tour or we have to have a private driver, which of course is.
As an aside, we were in
Private
Bermuda,
drive.
and he did drive on the left side one time. Bermuda, right?
No,
What
it
is
was
it?
in St. Croix.
How was
St.
it?
Croix.
It was nice.
It was
difficult?
very weird. We didn't drive very much. It was very weird because it was an American car. So the driver was on the left, as we are used to, but then you're driving on the left. So you're driving along the edge of the road, and the
brain
car
is
is on the right.
confused.
And
Turning around the corner, it was like
turning is the problem. Driving straight, once you're on the road, you drive on the wrong side. But when you've got to turn, you don't know which way you're going. We did that one
it
time.
was
and we said,
stressful.
okay,
It
we're
was
not-
like
we're not
everybody in the
doing
car was
that.
like, "What?"
Yeah, we're not going to do that again.
How about agents? Do you guys ever use travel agents? Because
We have used most these days. You don't usually need a travel agent, but we have found with one travel agent we've used a few times that she is able to get us deals that we couldn't find.
that happened to me once to go to Brazil too. Every time I'm traveling with an older person, the older person like my grandma likes to get an agent, like my mom likes to get an agent because.
Because everybody used to do that years ago.
Yeah, you
That's
never
all
did
you
it yourself.
You
There
never
was no
did it
computer,
yourself.
so.
And when you have an issue, it's because of about the issue. Like they saw, especially if it's, I think it's worth it if it's out of the country.
Oh, absolutely.
In the country, I don't know, like.
We used this woman. I had looked. We were going over to going to Sweden and coming back from Denmark, and when we looked at the airfare, it was very expensive. And I kept looking and comparing and making connections. And what if we do this and what if we do that? And a friend of mine, travels international for family, and I said, "Do you have a travel agent?" She goes, "Oh, I have this woman Anna. She's been pretty good." Well, I called her. And I had done all my research, so I had numbers in front of me. And I said, well, here's what we're looking to do. She goes, but how about flying in at this time and flying out at that time? And I said, yeah, okay. What was it? At that point, she said $1,000. I said, each way. She said, no, round trip. I went, what? Because I'm looking at those flights, and it was $1,000 each way. How she did it, I don't know. But she literally gave me the flights I was looking for half. I'm like, she's a magician. I'm going to use her for every long trip.
She pulled the strings.
Although when we did travel within the U.S., it wasn't much of a difference. And she put her own fee on top of that, which is normal. She did the work. But it was like, I don't think I saved a lot of money flying from New York down to Texas.
But usually travel agents get their fee, we should say, from the airline or
Right,
the hotel.
yeah.
You don't pay for them.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice to know.
There's no charge for a
And
travel
always
agent.
ask.
Do you guys pay for? Because nowadays, like there are some cheap places that you only get a carry-on, or not even a carry-on. You
Right.
get a personal bag, and then you have to pay $30 for a carry-on,
Right.
and whatever else for a
checking a bag.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you guys always get those checked bags? And do you guys select a seat always? Choose? Oh yes.
Yes, we always carry a bag.
You're a madame me.
And we always
Madame.
get a seat. But my
He's a
ex-wife,
very uncomfortable flyer. So we always have to have an aisle seat for him. He does not like to be cramped.
Oh yeah.
I will fly in the luggage compartment. If I'm going to get there and I can get a $35 flight, I will do it. But
My mom also.
Sir, here.
yeah,
likes
no,
to be-
and his ex-wife
I like the window.
travels. She will travel 17 cities to save $10.
with 6 hours stopover, and then take a bus. She just went from here, from Raleigh to Madrid, and then to an interior city. It was a 30-hour trip. From the flight itself would have been 8 hours. was 30 hours, including a 6-hour
Why did she do
stopover,
that?
because
saved
it was
some money.
so inexpensive. And
She makes me look like
there's
I'm
no
crazy.
reason
she likes
for that.
She likes the experience. Some people like the experience too.
She likes the experience
She
of
travel.
doesn't
saving the
mind
money.
sitting in an airport.
And she doesn't mind
I
sitting in an
see.
airport. She doesn't mind sitting in the middle seat. She doesn't mind 6-hour layovers. And she really doesn't mind. And she travels. She's 83 years old. Travels with a backpack, which probably weighs 30
Angela.
pounds. So she never has to check a bag.
If you're watching this, you're very inspiring.
She
We
is.
all want to travel.
Yes. And if an 83-year-old can do it, you can do it.
She's doing more. She's doing more than the younger.
Than
people
most,
are.
than most people. Certainly more than I would have ever done, no matter how young I might have been at.
One of the things
time.
that we have learned for us is that very often we are not satisfied when we save too much money. There's a level at which, oh my God, it's so cheap, we have to do it. We just did this on a cruise recently. We got a really, really good price on a cruise. It was not what we were used to. You know, we don't do luxury cruises, but we do nice cruises. I love cruises. This one was like,
Come on.
it's so cheap. We got to do it. And it was on a decent line. It wasn't one of these bargain lines. But we kind of went, yeah, I think we have to be more careful. You know, if it's too good to be true, it's probably not. We met wonderful people. The ship was beautiful, but we were like so far away from everything, and you could hear the anchor go up and down. It was like, there were so many parts that were like, okay, well, I think I should have paid more for this.
Something for you guys to pay attention.
But the main problem was the food was subpar.
Yeah.
And part of the reason you take
we're
a cruise
snobs.
is the great food.
Cruises are known for their food, and
For
this
their
one
great
was
food.
certainly nothing special.
But that was one time. We won't do it again. You'll
Right.
learn your lesson. Overall, it was still fine, and we had a very nice.
And it was a
time.
vacation, so
And it was a
how bad could it be?
So if you guys like to travel, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share with a friend, and stay tuned throughout the entire episode. And then we continue.
Oh,
Now-
we
and
continue
now- and now-
I thought you were cutting us
No,
off.
I thought you
Like,
were saying
I'm
you're
sorry,
done with
I talked
us
to-
now.
Michael is about to fight me.
I'm not finished talking.
Snatch my hair back.
So,
How
have
do
to
you save
choose-
money during the trip?
How do you right? You have to first decide where you're going to go and what kind of vacation you want. If you want to stay with family, for instance, you can save a great deal of money. If you're comfortable and they're comfortable, that can be great. You can do a staycation where you stay at home and just do day things, or go locally. We've gone into Manhattan for a weekend and just spent a weekend in a hotel seeing shows or whatever,
Massachusetts.
or wherever.
Isn't that where you went?
Well, we went a couple of. I went
No,
to
no, the
Connecticut.
place that you did
Pittsburgh.
Connecticut.
Right.
Danbury, Connecticut.
Uh,
A Ramada Inn. Really nice.
So you have to choose where you're going to go and how long you're going to go for. And then you can see how many different ways you can come up with to save some money by doing certain things that we're going to mention here and still getting a great vacation
Right.
out of it. This Expedia vacation that my friend took for $375 during Carnival to New Orleans is just, to me, unheard of. If you Google these things, especially if you're going to reserve it close to the time you're traveling, you often can get really, really good rates.
But read the fine print to make sure
Yeah.
you're getting what you think.
Yeah, we didn't think he was going to get it. We thought he was going to get screwed and
Yeah, we
get
thought he was
stuck
going to end up in
somewhere.
there on the street, but he came back. Had a
He
great
came
time.
back, had absolutely 3 days. It was only 3 days, but $375 is outrageous.
Damn. Yeah.
Uh,
Very cheap.
One thing you can do is if you've decided you're going to do the vacation next summer and you have 8 months to go or 10 months to go, see what you can save every month so that when the vacation time comes, you're set and you don't have to lay out all the money out at once. You've saved it. You certainly don't want to take a loan. You don't want to borrow. You don't want to pay interest. You don't want to have a credit card that you can't pay off, because that kind of defeats the purpose of the rest of your life.
One of
Yeah.
the things you can do, we were talking about this earlier, is if you're in a job where you could potentially relocate to a new area, or if you have an industry where there's a lot of resources in other areas, you can add travel. You can use part of that trip as a write-off for your taxes. So for instance, if I am traveling to a new city, very often I will look for higher educational things in that city.
Oh,
And if it's legitimate, I'll go and I'll make sure that I get business cards or I have a check that shows I paid for this. And I've even gone to like the fancy spas in other cities and asked for a tour, and
Wow, that's
interviewed
interesting.
them about how their business runs. So it's legitimately a business expense. I can't write off the whole trip.
So give me an example of one thing particularly that you have written off.
Well, for instance, a couple of years ago, there's a school in Southern California called Tony and Guy that does haircutting classes. They're really, really good classes. So his son lives very close to that. So what we decided was I was going to fly out, take a class. He was going to fly out a couple of days later and spend time with his son. So I was able to write off the cost of the class for sure
And the airfare.
and the airfare. I mean, when you write it off, all writing off means is you can count that as a business expense and it reduces the amount of tax. It's not like it's free at all. But it meant that I got some credit on my taxes because it was literally, I flew out for a class. The fact that I stayed three extra days or 4 extra days didn't really matter because I wasn't paying for a hotel room. I wasn't writing off the hotel.
Period. We are almost at 30 minutes, I think.
In that case, let me just mention a few specifics that
Whatever,
you can
it's
consider.
very important now.
If I'm mentioning it, it's important.
Yeah.
Cover the way.
The floor is yours.
Thank you.
The camera's yours.
Instead of staying, if you're going to go to Manhattan, for instance, if somebody's coming to New York, instead of staying in Manhattan, where the least expensive hotel you can get is $250 or $300 a night, stay right outside Manhattan. You can stay in Brooklyn. You can stay in New Jersey, Hoboken, Jersey City, for a third of the price, and simply take a bus or a train, 15 minutes, and you're in Midtown of whatever the city is.
To my Brazilian people who like to come to America, para as pessoas brasileiras,
That's right.
this is a very good point.
Yeah.
But also, well, the example of New York, there are even towns in New Jersey that people could stay, like even Harrison. We have a station here.
Right.
Or
Public
a lot of people,
transportation.
And take the
stay in-
path, and you're in
Yeah, I can't
Midtown
imagine
Manhattan.
how much it would cost to get a hotel room in Harrison because there's a lot of new stuff. It's right on the PATH train line. So
Yeah.
therefore, it would be very easy to stay in Harrison. Because the thing is, in New York, you have to take subways anyway.
Yep.
Another option is to go off hours or off days or off months. If you take a flight at 6 o'clock in the morning somewhere, which is just horrible to do because you get up at 3 and you have to be at the airport at 4, but it can often save you 20-30% on the airfare for the inconvenience of getting up early or traveling at a time of year which is not
I
high
don't
season.
care about waking up early.
You don't.
A lot of people don't care about that.
I have
And
missed a flight though.
The Prince.
Oh yeah, the Prince of Madame.
I used to do that, and then you get old, and then you say, no,
You're
no,
just
I'm
like,
not,
nah,
not gonna
I'm
do
a
that
prince
anymore."
now. I'm a prince now.
That's right. I was a prince when I was young. My grandmother
I was a
called me
peasant. Now I'm a prince.
There we go. Another option is instead of flying, bus or train travel. If you add up the time, depending on where you're going, it often takes you no longer to go by train because the airport, you've got to get to the airport, you've got to be there 2 hours in advance. The flight, if there are delays, rarely are buses or trains delayed. You get there and you get there 5 minutes before your bus is going to leave or your train is going to leave, and you get right on. You don't have to be there 2 hours in advance. We had mentioned buying a package from a consolidator like Expedia or Travel. What was your Travel what?
TripAdvisor.
TripAdvisor, and there are plenty of others, and at least you can check them out.
Your TripAdvisor, your favorite TripAdvisor, Michael Burr.
There you go.
That's the size, not me.
You can also go with friends, so you dilute the cost. You
Or visit
amortize.
friends.
Or visit friends. But if you go with friends, you can divide all the costs of the
That's what
hotel
we
and
did
bus.
when I went to
and
Florida that
right,
time.
and you all divide. It's way less expensive to be in a hotel with 3 people than to be there alone. The tax write-off idea, depending on what your job is, if you can find a way to write it off and make it job relatable and legal, you can write it off, which is a huge savings.
Yeah.
Eating is another thing, and you can go to a really fancy restaurant and spend $200, or you can go to a diner or a cafeteria or
Or a supermarket.
Or, well,
But if you're staying in an Airbnb, if you have
Yeah,
like,
if you have cooking
even in a hotel
facilities.
room, there are often supermarkets that have
Microwave.
prepared sandwiches. No, microwave. I just said Michael.
microwave, no, some of them have
Yeah,
microwave.
if in where you're staying, you can, and hotels have a lot of them have microwaves these
Do you
days.
eat that kind of food, or do you have to buy new food every day, or do you eat microwavable
I
food?
refuse to answer
that-
that
No,
question.
he is not. He is not picky eater. He's
No, I'm not a
the
picky
easiest
eater.
person in the world.
I'm not a picky eater.
He's picky about a lot of things, but not about food.
No,
as long
I'm
as he
not.
has food, doesn't
And
matter.
as long as
what
somebody
kind.
else cooks it,
Period.
because only because I don't know how, not that I wouldn't.
He's learning.
I did. I learned to make scrambled eggs with
Never too late.
mushrooms and onion.
Period.
Two last issues. Travel insurance. I don't recommend it. It'll add at least 10, if not 15% to the cost of your trip. Many, many things all of a sudden will not be covered or will be covered in a limited way.
This one's going to get a lot of blowback because there's very strong feelings that you need travel insurance. We have not,
Well, but that's what
and
we
we've
want.
done
We want-
research. For us, it's not.
We
worth it.
want to.
But what people are very afraid of is bad enough missing the plane or not getting in, losing a hotel night, etc. But they're also very afraid of health issues and being covered to have to have.
Say remains.
I would say remains. I
Don't
would
say
say
remains.
Your body.
to be returned to be able to come back.
Yeah, medical transportation.
In a medical evacuation if needed, to be covered in a hospital if you need it. If you're going to get travel insurance, read the fine print to see exactly what you're paying for and exactly what's covered, because you may be very surprised. They're telling me to look into
Read
that, to
the
right
final print.
no,
Fine print,
fine print,
absolutely.
not the final print.
Oh my God.
But
Fine print.
And the other question of using a travel agent, it depends. If you're going abroad, it usually, or at least often, can get you rates that you might not be able to get on your own.
And many travel agents advertise, like for instance, there's a number of gay travel agents. They advertise gay group things, which could be a big savings. So
Networking.
we most recently went on a cruise where there was a group from Ohio.
It was a straight cruise.
It was a regular straight cruise, but there was a gay travel group from Ohio, had 150 people, I think all men. And we were able to connect with them even though we didn't book through them. But what a great experience. We would book through them anytime. We just really liked this group of people. Very easy to get along with. Didn't cost us anything more. We felt bad because they weren't making money off us. They let us be included in all of their events. So Bear Cruise, we're giving you a heads up.
And
They
we
were
only didn't
wonderful.
join them.
Shout out.
But we only didn't join them because we didn't know about them till after we had
would've
booked it, or
booked-
we would have booked them in a minute.
And it wouldn't have cost us any more. He would have been the travel agent getting credit.
Right.
We
Well,
booked it directly.
You just network. You just did some networking. Next time you travel, you
Absolutely.
can do it with them.
Absolutely.
Period. Anything else?
I think that's it. That's time, I believe.
I
This
need
was-
a break.
I need to travel. I need to go travel now. Like, come on. We worked so much for Rainbows to Riches. We're finally out and about. Thank you so much, guys. This was our version, Rainbows to Riches version of traveling and how you can comfortably and safely and affordably travel.
And please remember that this is for education and entertainment only. And if you have any questions or you want to contact us, please do. We'd be glad to answer you directly, or possibly even make a podcast out of your question if it's something we feel everybody would be interested in.
And make sure to like
Comment?
And subscribe.
and don't forget to share with a friend. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.